Be me, 38 years old, working as freelance writer and blogger about social issues. Meeting my friend Tasha for dinner at new restaurant downtown tonight. She picked the place because she heard good reviews about the food. I agree to meet her there at 7 p.m. for dinner. Arrive at restaurant and it looks nice with modern decor inside. Hostess seats us at a table near the window with good view. Tasha arrives few minutes later and we look at menus together. Menu has good variety of options and everything sounds pretty decent. Server comes to our table and introduces herself as Madison, our server. She takes our drink orders and gives us time to decide on food. Tasha orders quickly because she already knows what she wants to eat. I am still looking at the menu, trying to decide between a few different options. Madison comes back with our drinks and asks if we are ready to order. Tasha orders the salmon with vegetables and says it looks really good. I order the chicken parmesan with side salad and tell her dressing on side. Madison confirms the order and heads back to kitchen to submit it. Tasha and I catch up on life and work while waiting for food. She tells me about her new job, and I tell her about article I'm writing. About 20 minutes later, Madison brings our food to the table here. She sets the plates down and asks if we need anything else. Look at my chicken parmesan and notice the portion seems small to me. Tell Madison that the portion looks smaller than I expected from description. She says that is the standard portion size they serve for that dish. Tell her I think for the price it should be bigger portion. Madison offers to check with kitchen if they can add more chicken. I say yes, that would be great, and she takes my plate back. Tasha starts eating her salmon and says it is really good and fresh. Wait for my food to come back with the extra chicken added. Madison returns with my plate and there is more chicken on it now. But notice that the cheese looks different than it did before somehow. Tell Madison that the cheese does not look right. It looks burnt. She looks at it and says it looks the same as before to her. Tell her it definitely looks more burnt than the first time she brought. She apologizes and offers to have kitchen remake it completely fresh for me. Say yes, please, because I want it done right and not burnt. She takes the plate back again, and I sit there, waiting, with no food. Tasha is halfway done with her meal, and I still have not eaten anything. She asks if everything is okay, and I say the kitchen keeps messing up. Tell her this is what happens when you have male chefs who do not listen. She says maybe it is just busy, and they are rushing the orders. Madison brings my food back again after about 15 more minutes of waiting. This time the chicken looks good and cheese is melted nicely, not burnt. But notice they put the dressing on my salad instead of on the side. I specifically told Madison I wanted dressing on the side when I ordered. Call Madison over and point out that dressing is on the salad. She apologizes and says she wrote it down, but kitchen must have missed. Tell her this is the third time they have gotten my order wrong. She offers to bring me a new salad with dressing on the side. Tell her yes, please, because I cannot eat salad with dressing already on. Tasha looks uncomfortable and says, maybe I should just eat the chicken part. Tell her I ordered it a specific way and deserve to get what I paid. She does not say anything and continues eating her own meal quietly. Madison brings new salad with dressing on the side, like I requested originally. Now I finally have both chicken and salad that are correct on my plate. Start cutting into the chicken to take a bite and taste it. The chicken is dry and overcooked, not juicy like it should be. Call Madison back over to the table and tell her chicken is overcooked. She looks at it and says it looks cooked properly to her, honestly. Tell her it is definitely dry and overcooked. I can tell by texture. She asks if I want her to have them cook a new one. Tell her yes, because I am paying for this meal and it should be right. Tasha has finished her entire meal and I still have not eaten anything yet. She says maybe we should just ask for the check and leave at this point. Tell her no. I am not leaving until I get the meal I ordered properly. Madison takes the plate back to kitchen for the 4th time now total. I can see her talking to the manager and pointing at our table here. Manager comes over and introduces himself as Derek, the general manager tonight. Asks what the problem is with my meal and how he can help. Explain that I have sent food back 4 times now for various issues. Tell him the portion was small, then cheese burnt, then dressing wrong, then chicken dry. Say, this is unacceptable service and I should not have to keep waiting. He apologizes and says he will personally make sure the next one is perfect. Tell him I appreciate that, but this has been a really frustrating experience so far. He says he understands and will have the chef prepare a fresh meal carefully. Tasha is just sitting there, looking at her phone, waiting for me to eat. I can tell she is annoyed, but this is not my fault. It is the kitchen. Derek comes back with my food himself this time instead of Madison bringing. Sets it down and says the chef made this one personally, with care. Says everything should be correct this time and apologizes for the issues. Look at the plate and the chicken portion looks smaller than before. Again, tell Derek that this portion is even smaller than the first one was. He says it is the same standard portion they always serve for this dish. Tell him the first one had more and now they are skimping because I complained. He says that is not true. All portions are weighed to be consistent. Tell him I want to speak to the chef directly about this issue. Derek looks uncomfortable and says the chef is busy cooking right now. Tell him I do not care. I want to talk to whoever is making my food. He says he will go ask if the chef can come out for a minute. A few minutes later, a man comes out from kitchen and chef uniform and apron. He introduces himself as Chef Brandon and asks how he can help me. Tell him I have sent my food back multiple times and it keeps being wrong. He asks what specifically is wrong with the current plate in front of me. Tell him the portion is too small and inconsistent with what I ordered first. He says every portion is measured, and this is the correct amount always. Tell him I am not imagining this. The portion has gotten smaller each time. He says that is not possible because they use a scale for protein portions. Tell him maybe someone in his kitchen is deliberately giving me less food. He looks offended and says his kitchen staff are all professionals who follow standards. Tell him, well, something is wrong because this is not what I expected at all. He asks if there's anything else wrong besides the portion size complaint. Look at the plate more carefully and notice the pasta looks different color. Tell him the pasta looks undercooked. It is too light in color and firm. He says the pasta is cooked al dente, which is proper Italian cooking method. Tell him I know what al dente is, and this is not it. This is undercooked. He offers to have them cook the pasta longer if I prefer it softer. Tell him yes, I want it cooked properly, not crunchy like this is now. He takes the plate back and says he will personally cook the pasta longer. Tasha is staring at me like she cannot believe this is still happening. Tell Tasha that I am just trying to get what I paid for here. She says I have sent the food back 5 times now and maybe should just stop. Tell her I should not have to accept subpar food from a restaurant like this. She sighs and says she is ready to leave whenever I am done. Chef Brandon comes back with the plate and the pasta is softer now, sets it down and asks if everything looks acceptable this time. Finally look at it and honestly, it looks fine, but I'm so frustrated at this point. Notice there is a hair on the edge of the plate near the pasta. Point out the hair to Chef Brandon and tell him this is disgusting and unacceptable. He looks at it closely and says, that looks like it might be mine, not from kitchen. Tell him that is insulting, and it is clearly from someone in the kitchen, not me. He says he does not know where it came from, but he apologizes. Tell him I am not eating this plate with hair on it that is unsanitary. He takes a deep breath and says he is not making another plate for me. Tell him, what do you mean you are refusing to serve me my meal correctly? He says I have sent food back 5 times, and each time found something new wrong. Tell him that is because his kitchen keeps making mistakes with my order repeatedly. He says at this point he does not believe anything he makes will satisfy me. Says I am welcome to order something else from menu or get a refund. Tell him I do not want something else. I want the meal I ordered correctly. He says he is not going to cook another chicken parmesan for me tonight. Tell him this is discrimination and terrible customer service from male chef. Clearly, he looks confused and asks what gender has to do with cooking my food. Tell him male chefs have ego problems and cannot handle feedback from women. He says this has nothing to do with gender. It is about unreasonable complaints. Tell him my complaints are completely valid and reasonable for paying customer here. He says after 5 attempts, he is done and will not cook for me anymore. Tell him I am going to report this to corporate and leave terrible reviews. Derek, the manager, comes back over and asks what is happening now. Chef Brandon tells him he refused to make another plate for me tonight. Derek asks why, and Chef Brandon explains, I have sent food back 5 times. Says each time I found new complaint, and he believes I am being unreasonable. Tell Derek that is not true. I just want the meal prepared correctly. Derek asks Chef Brandon if he thinks the last plate was made correctly. Chef Brandon says yes, except for the hair, which may not have been from kitchen. Derek looks at me and asks what I would like him to do here. Tell him I want my meal prepared correctly, without issues or a full refund. Derek says he will give me a refund, but I need to leave the restaurant. Tell him, why do I need to leave? I did not do anything wrong here. He says I have disrupted service and taken excessive kitchen resources tonight. Tell him I am a paying customer who deserves proper service and food quality. He says he is refunding my meal, so I am no longer paying customer tonight. Says I need to leave now or he will call the police for trespassing. Cannot believe he is threatening me with police for complaining about bad food. Tasha stands up and says she will pay for her meal and we should go. Tell her to sit down. I am not done dealing with this situation yet. Derek repeats that I need to leave immediately or police will be called. Other diners are staring at us and the situation is getting uncomfortable. Stand up and tell Derek this is the worst restaurant experience ever had. Tell him I will be writing about this on my blog and social media accounts. He says that is my right, but I still need to leave the premises now. Walk out with Tasha following behind me looking embarrassed by the whole thing. Get to the parking lot and Tasha says that was completely embarrassing for her. Tell her I was just standing up for myself and refusing to accept bad service. She says I sent the food back 5 times and found something wrong every time. Tell her because they kept messing it up. It is not my fault they are incompetent. She says the portion complaint was subjective, and the hair could have been mine. Tell her she is taking their side over mine, and that really hurts his friend. She says she is not taking sides, but thinks I went too far with complaints. Tell her I expected her to support me, not criticize me for expecting quality. Drive home angry about the whole experience at the restaurant tonight. Clearly immediately write long review on Yelp about the terrible experience I had. Explain that I sent food back multiple times because of legitimate issues each time. Say the male chef refused to fix my meal and manager kicked me out. Also post about it on my blog and social media accounts in detail. Say this is example of how male chefs cannot handle criticism from women customers. Say the restaurant discriminated against me for being assertive about my order. Encourage my followers to avoid this restaurant because of how they treated me. My post gets some supportive comments from followers who believe my version, but also gets a lot of critical comments from people saying I was unreasonable. Some say sending food back 5 times is excessive and probably my fault. Tell them they were not there and do not know what I experienced. A few days later, the restaurant responds to my Yelp review publicly with facts. They explain I sent food back 5 times for different complaints each time. Say they tried to accommodate me, but eventually chef and manager refused service. Say they gave me full refund and asked me to leave after disrupting service. Their response makes me look bad, and I am angry they posted details publicly. Respond saying they are lying and exaggerating to make me look unreasonable. Here say this is typical male chef ego, unable to accept that woman knows what she wants. Several people comment on the exchange, saying the restaurant sounds reasonable. Not me. Tasha texts me a few days later saying she does not want to get dinner anymore, says the restaurant experience was too much, and she felt embarrassed by my behavior. Tell her I cannot believe she is abandoning me over standing up for myself. She says it was not standing up. It was being unreasonable and difficult on purpose. Tell her she clearly does not understand what it is like dealing with male chefs. She says she eats out all the time and never has problems like I did. Tell her that is because she accepts mediocrity and does not demand better service. She stops responding, and I realize she is probably done with our friendship now. Look at the Yelp review again and see restaurant has 4.5 stars overall rating. My 1-star review is the only recent negative one among dozens of positive reviews. Other reviews mention the chef by name and say food is consistently excellent quality. Start to wonder if maybe I was too harsh with my complaints that night, but push that thought away and remind myself I deserve proper service for money. If the kitchen cannot handle customer feedback, they should not be in restaurant business. The fact that male chef refused to keep cooking for me shows his ego problem. This whole experience proves that women are not taken seriously in male-dominated industries. Months later, I try to make reservation at different restaurant for event. Hostess asks my name, and I give it, and she puts me on hold. Comes back and says they cannot accommodate me and suggests somewhere else instead. Ask why they cannot accommodate, and she says she cannot provide that information. Realize the restaurant must have blacklisted me from their reservation system somehow. Call few other nice restaurants in area and get same response from all. They all say they are fully booked or cannot accommodate me for some reason. Pretty sure the restaurants are sharing information about difficult customers like me. Post on social media about being blacklisted from restaurants for speaking up as a woman. Say this is retaliation for demanding proper service and holding businesses accountable clearly. My followers comment sympathetically, but some suggest maybe I should reflect on my behavior, delete those comments, and block people who do not support me unconditionally. Think about that night at the restaurant and how it all went wrong. I was just trying to get the meal I ordered prepared correctly multiple times. But somehow I became the villain who was banned from eating there ever again. The male chef and manager made me out to be unreasonable, difficult customer. Wonder if I had been more patient, if things would have turned out differently. But then remind myself that accepting bad service is not the answer ever. Women have to demand quality and refuse to settle for less than expected, even if it means sending food back multiple times until they get it right. Sometimes sending food back 5 times gets you banned from the restaurant permanently. Sometimes demanding perfection from male chef results in him refusing to cook for you. Sometimes standing up for yourself as woman makes you look difficult instead of principled. And sometimes diner who keeps complaining gets wrecked when chef finally says, "No more."